The names of old Jewish communities south of the Atlas Mountains, many of which existed well into Renaissance times, can be found in documents in synagogue archives in Cairo. Jewish and Islamic chronicles cite the existence of Jewish rulers of certain Jewish tribal groups and clans, scattered throughout Mauritania, Senegal, the Western Sudan, Nigeria, and Ghana. According to Tarikh-e-Sudan, recorded by Abdurrahman bin Abdullah Sadi, a Jewish community was formed by a group of Egyptian Jews who had traveled to the West Africa through Chad. Another such community was located near the Niger River by the name of Kuchiyo, led by a ruler known as Dia or Diji, a shortened form of Dia min al-Yaman or Dia Liman, meaning he who comes from Yemen. According to local traditions, Dia Liman was a member of one of the Ethiopian Jewish colonies transplanted from Yemen to Ethiopian Abyssinia in the 6th century CE. Dia Liman is said to have moved to West Africa along with his brother. They set up the Jewish community in northern Nigeria, which later emerged with famous 7 Hausa states. A 9th century Jewish traveler, Eldad bin Mahli, accounts about the location of some of the lost tribes of the house of Israel. According to this account, the tribes of Dan had migrated from Palestine so as not to take part in the internecine civil wars at the time of Jeroboam's succession. It was reported that this section was residing in the land of Havilah, beyond the waters of Ethiopia, where there was much gold. It was further reported that 3 other tribes had joined the tribe of Dan, namely Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. Those joined up with Dan in the land of Havilah in the time of Sennacherib. They had an entire body of scriptures bearing Esther lamentations. They neither used the Talmud nor the Mishnah, but they had a Talmud of their own in which all the laws were cited in the name of Joshua, the son of Nun. The biblical writers recognized that the people among them with red skin were of an ancestral line of extreme antiquity. That is why the first man's name, Adam, is related to the word for blood and for the color red. Dam, Odom, and Edom. Jeff A. Benner, an expert on ancient Hebrew, explains, "We are all familiar with the name Adam as found in the book of Genesis. But what does it really mean? Let us begin by looking at its roots. The word name is a child root derived from the parent, meaning blood. By placing the letter in front of the parent root, the child root is formed and is related in meaning to blood. By examining a few other words derived from the child root, we can see a common meaning in all of them. A Hebrew word, Adamah, is the feminine form of meaning ground. The word name, Edom, means red. Each of these words have the common meaning of red. Dam means the red blood. Adamah means the red ground. Edom is the color red, and Adam is the red man. There is another connection between Adam and Adamah, as seen in Genesis 2-7, which states that the Adam was formed from the Adamah. To construct an accurate picture of ancient world of Genesis, we must examine the assumptions that Abraham's people originated in Tigris-Euphrates area. The Genesis genealogies presents a different picture, that Abraham's ancestors migrated out of Africa, and the evidence of anthropology, genetics, archaeology, DNA studies, and linguistics supports this view. Abraham's father was Terah the Ainu. The Nilotic Ainu had a red skin and their rulers were bearded. From the Nile they spread to Japan and southern Siberia. They traveled as far as Ireland, Finland, and from there they moved into Greenland, Labrador, and eastern Canada. These first people are found at the center of Cavalli-Froza's genetic distance chart, as would be expected of the first people. These ancestors were great kingdom builders, and their dominion extended from Africa to India. As evidence, consider the correspondence between the Hindu heroes Adimo, Hiva, Shema, Hama, and Japheth, and their Genesis counterparts Adam, Eve, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. It is argued that this correspondence is due to westward migration of Asiatics. However, this does not align with the evidence of the northern migration of the people from Africa. Add the fact that Abraham's kingdom-building ancestors were constantly searching for new territories, and a cogent picture of the people referenced in Genesis begins to emerge. Contrary to the beliefs of the iuic and other cult-like groups, the Edomites of scripture are not portrayed as the main antagonists against Israel. For example, Herod the Edomite was a subservient principality at the time of Yeshua, not a supreme ruler. The iuic and other cult-like groups say that Arabs are Ishmael, but the proof is in the pudding. The word Arab comes from a Hebrew word with the meaning a mixture of people or a mingling. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou wast as one of them. But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger. Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Yea, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. Neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape. Neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress. The Bible depicts Esau as a co-conspirator with the Gentiles, not the main antagonist. He is seen as a wicked traitor, not a wicked stranger. How is he both the stranger and the traitor that stopped his brother from escaping from the strangers? From the other forms of Edom, which is the root, you have the red heifer, which was a requirement for some of the biblical sacrifices. In other words, the reddish brown of a cow is the imagery used to describe Esau and David both. In addition to this, they force this verse to apply to white people when they are sunburned and their skin turns pink. I do not see the complexion of a white European when I look at that cow. If that is what you see, stop lying to yourself and go to the optician. Let us move on. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And when the Philistine looked about and saw David, he despised him, for he was but a youth and ready, and of a fair countenance. 1 Samuel 17:42. Red and ready are the exact same Hebrew word admoni. The mainstream Hebrew Israelites take the advantage of how this one word is translated into two different ways in English, so that they can say that Esau is white and that David is a light-skinned black man. I remind you that it is the exact same word that is used in the Hebrew, and even in English, red and ready are synonyms. Our people are all over the world. Some of the Pacific Island people are Shemites. Many of the black-looking Asians are Shemites, as well as some could be Hebrews from Iber, because their writings and language closely related to Bantu origins in Africa. Wakanda means you are going home in Fang Ivondo Beti, an African language spoken in Gabon, Cameroon, Equatorial Guinea, and Congo. The Fang are found in Gabon and Ivondo people in Cameroon. They are all related to this group. Wakanda in Shona language, it means you threw it or have you thrown it. Shona is a language spoken in Zimbabwe. Wakanda in the Baule language, it means the cross or the twin tree. Baule is one of the largest people in Côte d'Ivoire. Baule are Akan people. Akan and Ashan are found in the Old Testament. Ashanti descendants live in Jamaica. Baule are the same people as Ashanti and Fanti in Ghana. Wakanda in the Swahili language, it means needers, those who need. Swahili is the lingua franca of Kenya. Swahili is the Bantu mix with some Arabic words. T'Challa is the Tishala, which means teacher in Xhosa, Bantu tribal language. The Bible is a prophetic book of codes that only Bantu African can unlock. Black Panther movie is so deep, it's about the Bantu Hebrews, the true chosen people.